That's right where I left it. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna try and finish up the turbo install on the Civic. Last night we got to the point where I had this hose line connected to the blow-off valve. I was trying to figure out which one to tee it into, and I found out it's gonna go to the fuel pressure regulator right there. It's gonna tee off right there. Probably gonna spin this upside down so that the hose runs underneath stuff so you don't see it as much. But that's where we're at. We're making good progress for making this like a good 2-day thing. We should be able to get this started and running by the end of today. Emerson wanted it running by the end of last night, but that wasn't gonna happen. Today what we need to do is we need to go to Lordco and we need to get the right fittings for the sandwich plate so that we can run our oil line. Then we basically just have to figure out how we're connecting the down pipe, connect the rest of the intercooler piping, which we already had there, but we just took off to continue working on it. Our goal is just keep on keeping on, keep going with this, get this as far along as possible. We should be able to button it all up today. Hope these videos are going okay. I hope we're getting good footage. It's one of those things where I get really excited about doing this, and so does Emerson. So both of us are trying to film, but both of us are trying to be hands-on with this because like we really have a good time doing this. So hopefully the footage is good. Hopefully we're recording enough for you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the video so far. I'm gonna flip this blow-off valve around so that it runs straight down to here because I don't want to see this ugly line up here. Then I'm gonna run the little T connector into the fuel regulator hose. And then when he comes, he said he looked up something last night for the oil lines. I don't know what he figured out or whatever, but we'll go from there.
Isn't this a good life? Sitting on the front porch, sipping on the rocks. Citrus in our beverages. Citrus in our beverages. Show only the good sides. Always pretty smiles are covering our faces. You know it is all lies. You know it is all lies. On and on it goes. Round and round the rodeo. Breathing out air for a minute. Taking my time to begin with. On and on it goes. Swinging down in life, you know. Breathing out air for a minute.
There, so I flipped this guy upside down. We also did some research, and apparently there's a lot of compression surge with this blow-off valve because it's not fast enough. That's the problem. The actuator inside's not fast enough. So like it'll blow off, but you'll still have like the flutter because it doesn't blow off fast enough. So I don't know what we're gonna do with that. For now, we're just gonna run it because it came with the kit. We're just gonna run everything that we got. And then I just flipped it, ran the line, kind of just zip tied it to a couple of the wires here to keep it up, and then ran it to the little T connector here. And so that should be good. We're gonna run out and try and find those connectors. Just shit your pants?
No.
It smells. You fucking dick. Okay, you should just sponsor us. Like in reality, you should just be giving us the free stuff.
I think I'm the wrong size. Not enough room for everybody's egos. Why don't we all calm down? Why don't we all calm down? On and on it goes.
So we picked up this boost gauge from Princess Auto. It was 60 bucks. It's just for now, but like he could order a $60 boost gauge online and wait for it, or I could just get this right now. And then today when we get this running, at least I know what's going on because I want to know what's going on. Whether I keep this or I just use it for now and give it back or sell it or whatever. This is our temporary boost gauge. It goes up to 30 pounds. It's mechanical. LED. It's got like a tinted lens, which is kind of nice, but it's not like super expensive. It's like what I would pay anyways, so I figured I'd just buy one right now and have it. Still budget. It's Princess Auto, man. It's Power Fist. Can you explain to them what we got to do to the oil fittings now that we can't find the sandwich plate stuff?
Apparently this oil pressure sensor switch that's supposed to be above the filter or somewhere near the filter. So you close one side, this fitting goes on one side, that side goes into the block, and then your sensor goes into the other hole that's open. Then your oil line goes into here.
And then it's just the same as having the sandwich plate. It's just more complicated to do it this way.
Yeah, and your filter goes on normally, how it always does. Apparently this is the other way, but it sent out both. I don't know why.
They sent both ways with no instructions, and now we're on way 2 with no instructions. So we'll see how it goes. Is there any way the camera's gonna be able to see what you're doing while you're doing it, or no?
You know where the filter is?
Yeah.
Exactly right on top.
Okay. So Emerson's gonna be working here. I'm gonna show you guys when he's done because there's no way that we can both be there and have a camera and let you guys know what's going on. And while he's doing that, I'm gonna button up the rest of the intercooler piping from the turbo to the intercooler here. The valve cover used to have a breathing tube that would come over here and go into the air intake, but that's gone, so we're just gonna get a little filter for the valve cover. But then there was also this coolant line that ran here, and the two like connector pieces were welded together. So that's what I did. This one's destroyed now. This is the breather tube for the air intake, which I don't need anymore. And then this is the coolant one. So I ground this one off the coolant line. I'm just gonna paint this black now so it doesn't get any rust on it or anything. But we're just gonna put this one back, and then we're just gonna run like a tiny little filter off the valve cover to let this still breathe, and so that it doesn't look ugly having extra lines and stuff that don't need to be there. We sent the girls out to get like that air filter and a couple other things that we needed to finish this up, like Teflon tape, which we forgot. We need some brake cleaner so that we can spray it in this so that everything will be clean. So we're gonna go ahead and do the boost gauge, which is the only thing that we have that has instructions. So hopefully this isn't too hard to figure out. Do you wanna unbox it? Dude, this isn't actually that bad. And this thing goes to 30 pounds, so my goal is to have this max out one day.
On the Civic.
Yeah, why not? So as far as where we're gonna tap these into for the boost gauge, we're just gonna go to the exact same place that we have the tack wires. That way they all run off the same thing. We know it's all gonna work. So there's no lighting in here, and it's like super, Emerson's doing stuff. So I'm just gonna wire this up. I'm sure you guys will understand. I'm just gonna tap into the same place as this tack. I'm gonna show them what you did.
Tying those two.
Turbo! Oh, I don't even think you can see it from down here.
You can.
Well, right above the filter is where Emerson teed off the oil line for this. You guys can't even see it. It's literally impossible to see and do. But that's what we had to do because we don't have a sandwich plate for the filter. So, don't know how else to explain it or show you. But then the line is running off the top, like basically where above the filter is. We're gonna run it down and around and into the top of the turbo, like right over here. That's what we gotta do to our intercooler.
What the fuck?
We gotta paint our intercooler like that.
Yeah, I got
That's
it back
sick.
yesterday. I got pulled over this morning. Holy shit.
Yeah. I've never been in a right-hand drive RX-7.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want to tell these guys about it? Like, do you want to tell the video about it at all?
So it's a half bridge, ported and studded and dynamic balanced with a BorgWarner S366.
Cool.
Pushing 18 pounds for my break-in. Makes between 600 and 700 horse.
18 pounds for break-in?
Yeah. And then I can run over 26 afterwards for 800 horse.
That's
on
nuts.
base gas.
That's absolutely nuts.
It's a 6-puck clutch.
And that's just 4,000? Like 4,000 shifts?
Yeah.
That's still pretty quick though.
Yeah, I can, once I break in, I can ramp up to 11,000 reliably. So.
Just right past the gauge and everything. Just nothing.
That's 3,000 RPMs.
That's sick. It was good, even at 4,000.
It's just music.
I know we never really introduced him, but this is David. He's one of Emerson's friends. I'm trying to get a drive-by of him right now. It's a sick RX-7 though. Again, it's 100% goals. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Yo, this thing is nuts. It sucks because he's getting it done right now, so it only goes to about 4,000 RPM, but it's still nuts. There it is. You like I'm not sure what you guys are updated with or what's going on because we've just been like sucking at filming and had people coming in and out. I reattached the coolant line, the one that I cut the other line off of. We just got one of the Edelbrock breather things for the valve cover so that it can still breathe. And then we wired up, I don't know if you can see it, we wired up the oil line right in there to the top of the turbo. And then for now, we're just running it just like kind of bunkly around, but we're just gonna do that until we figure out, make sure everything works, and then like come back and button everything up. So Emerson put the oil pan and everything's back down under here. So we just need to connect this little bung right here to the bottom of the turbo so that the turbo can drain oil into the oil pan. I have a temporary T-connected for the boost gauge. Like there's a lot of extra wire here. I just did this to make sure the gauge and everything works. And then we just need to get this finished up. I started on this earlier, but I couldn't figure out the wires because I'm colorblind, so didn't get very far with that. So I need Emerson to help me with that.
This car is fast like Jackie Chan.
Need to go find this hole, find that hole. Can I push it up to me just a bit? The manifold's tight, all the hose clamps are tight, all that shit is tight. Emerson came down and connected the oil line to the oil pan. Our only problem is, of course, the downpipe does not fit at all. It's extremely off. So once we get this thing running, we're gonna have to take it to wherever we get it tuned. Maybe can even just cut and weld that pipe at the right angle, but it is so far off, like there's no way that's gonna work. So hopefully it doesn't scrape when we drive.
We'll get them to get rid of this too.
Yeah, we'll get them to just get it, basically weld us a custom test pipe and downpipe. There's absolutely no way we're gonna make that one fit. That just hangs down and it's completely obnoxious. Our last issue that we're dealing with is the O2 sensor is supposed to plug in right here, but it has to come all the way to this nub right here, and it does not go that far. Like the cord is just way too long. Like even if I touch the top of it to that nub, that's how far we get. So we don't have enough O2 sensor wire to get it over there. So we're trying to figure out what we have, what we can do, because everywhere's closed now. It's like Sunday night, like we can't go anywhere and get anything. So we don't want it to lean out. So we're trying to figure out what we can do, what we have that can at least get the O2 sensor plugged in, even if it's just like temporary for tonight. I'm 90% sure everything I did is tight. We don't have an O2 sensor, but there's no reading for it, right? Like it's not like it's plugged in and it's breathing fresh air. So I don't know, take the cap off. Pretty sure it's all tight. Right now we're just running the boost gauge wire or hose just like up and around. It's really sloppy, but we're just doing it to make sure it works. And then this is the, like we haven't mounted it or anything. We just want to make sure it works. So that's what the gauge actually looks like. It's not too bad. For a Princess Auto gauge, it's not too bad. It's got the tint on the screen and everything. There's oil in it. Everything's good. Can we think of anything we didn't do?
The downpipe straight out and the O2 sensor.
Don't have an O2 sensor, so it might not run very well. We don't know. It might not even start. We have to try it out. But we're gonna turn it on, let the oil circulate, and then we're gonna try and start it. We're gonna try and get it just idling for you guys at least.
Start it.
So what? Okay. And then just wait, and then just keep doing that a couple times to let oil circulate through the turbo. Because you want to prime it is basically what you want to do. Okay. Are you going to try and fire it up?
Well, I'm not gonna go, but
Just keep your eye on that boost gauge. If it says it's going to explode, then... Yeah! Fuck yeah! First try! First try, baby! First try!
gotta check engine like it's an O-tube or whatever.
Fuck the check engine light! Dude! First try! Let it idle for a second. Woo! Welcome home, baby! Woo! I'm so stoked it worked. Yeah, it runs, baby! We got a turbo going! Woo! It's breaking in the downpipe, basically.
Okay.
Dude, I'm so stoked that worked. It stinks, but yeah, I'll check the oil. Can you hold this? I'm so amped that it actually, like, first try,
Started.
cranked and ran. It didn't even, like, lean out or anything. Holy sh...
I knew it. It was like it has to go first try. Like it has to run.
Will the bumper go on?
Not today.
Not today.
I put more oil in it. We got everything running, so we're gonna try and circulate some more oil through it before we take it for any sort of little drive. But I'm stoked that it turns over first try. One second. Yahoo! Dude, you guys have no idea how excited I am when this actually cranked over. If you're gonna give it any gas, give it slow and see if the boost builds. I got nothing. Did you get any reading?
I didn't even get to zero yet.
At least it's not dying.
Yeah, it's not shutting off, which is a good sign.
We're letting it warm up and idle down a little bit. I'm just worried the downpipe's gonna scrape when we start driving it.
We'll go slow.
Might lower it, take it for a quick drive up and down the street to see if we can get any boost to load. Like, we can't go ripping it, but we can drive it and make sure it's all functioning. Like, as long as we build boost and we see it on the gauge, then we know we're good. We won't abuse it. We won't go too high in the RPMs because it's not tuned properly. Like, it's not meant to be running right now, but it's definitely a start.
Isn't this the good life? Sitting on the front porch, sipping on the rocks. Citrus in our beverages. Citrus in our beverages.
Oh, you're good. You're gonna clear the
Showing me
driveway.
the good sides. Always pretty smiles are covering our faces. You know it is our lives. You know it is our lives. Ah.
Yeah, you're fine. Oh, there it is.
Slam on the brake.
Why don't we just start it and drive it down the driveway?
Just drive it normally. See if anything, I think, put it into neutral, let the aisle drop by itself, see if it dies. See that?
Is that the plug for the top?
No, that's the motor mount. Fine. I heard like the littlest bit of boost build. It didn't show any like reading. It showed like 0, like it got to 0, and I let it off. It blew off a tiny bit, and then the motor mount ejected itself. Shit, it's completely gone.
It's okay, we can still drive it. We'll replace that later.
It's not one that holds the engine, like this holds the engine. That's just like a support mount, but we still gotta get it fixed. Second thing, we don't have a filter on the turbo yet, but we're just like doing test runs. We're not gonna go any crazy. We're not gonna go anywhere dirty. We're just gonna try and keep it like on our street and kind of calm before we get a filter on there. And the last one that we didn't realize was gonna happen until obviously we dropped the car, and everything we do is like a learning process, right? The piping is so low. It's incredible. So we're probably gonna have to raise the front a bit. Now, like just driving around, testing it out, it is so low. And especially with that exhaust hanging so low too, that we don't wanna do anything super crazy with it. When Emerson gets back, we just both muck dinner real quick. When Emerson gets back, we're gonna take it for a quick drive and then probably wrap up for the day, but we need to go for one more drive, show you guys some in-car, show you guys just a little more pulls. We just gotta be careful because there's no intake on the turbo yet and everything is still a little bit screwy. Hey, brother, you're back. That was fast. I was just telling them about you. You're on camera duty. I'm on don't blow the Civic duty. I heard a blow off, but this isn't reading anything.
Yeah, it's going straight to 0.
Why does it do that?
Yeah, we're not actually like giving it yet.
It runs pretty good though. I'm actually surprised that it runs as good as it does. You hear the turbo like flutter?
Yeah.
It showed like 2 pounds. Did it?
Yeah.
Something wubbing. Oh, I can just feel it. It's way fast. It is so much faster, dude. And I'm looking at the boost gauge, but I can literally feel it being faster. Wow.
Just some good noises.
Just, yeah, leave it here for now. We'll push it back in.
Yeah.
Like, that's how hot it used to get when we drove it around. Like, when we were doing the rev tests, that's how hot it was getting. That's pretty good.
Okay, let's just let this cool down.
Yeah, we'll let it run and let it cool down a little bit. So I went through a spider web. Now all we're gonna do is just snug up a couple lines. We're gonna make sure all these hose clamps get retightened, make sure everything stays tight. We're gonna clean up this boost gauge line. And that's pretty much it. Like, we're not gonna do anything crazy tonight. We're gonna just call it quits. We don't wanna go overkill. We wanna do everything right. And we're stoked right now. We don't wanna miss things. So Civic is boosted and the Civic is running. And that is all we've been trying to accomplish all day for the last 2 days. So I can't wait to get this thing on a dyno for you guys. I'm so happy. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace out and stay committed.